This story takes place in an alternate reality, a kind of parallel universe. At first glance, it looks just like our world, but there is one huge difference. In this world, no one ever lies. People only say exactly what they feel and what they experience. There is no such thing as dishonesty here. In this strange reality, we meet a man named Mark Bellisson. He works as a screenwriter in the film industry. One evening, he goes to pick up a woman named Anna for a date. The moment Anna sees him, she openly says she is not interested in him. She calls him an average-looking guy, but still agrees to go on the date because she promised his friend. She asks Mark to wait while she gets ready. Mark admits that his financial condition is not good, so he will take her to a cheap restaurant. Anna calmly replies that these things do not matter to her. Soon, they arrive at the restaurant. The waiter looks at Anna and bluntly says she is very beautiful and that Mark does not deserve her. In this world, no one can lie, even if they want to. Anna and Mark begin talking, and she finds his words pleasant. Just then, Anna's mother calls. Anna tells her mother that she will never marry Mark because he is overweight and has no money. She also says she does not want her children to be overweight or to struggle financially. After the date, Mark drops Anna home and returns to his own place. The next day, he goes to his office, where he works as a scriptwriter. His boss tells him that the script he wrote about the 14th century was turned into a film, but the film has flopped. Because of this failure, the company has decided to fire him. Mark feels deeply disappointed. As he prepares to leave the office, he receives an email from Anna. In it, she writes that she enjoyed spending time with him last night, but she cannot marry him because she sees no future with him. Unfortunately, Mark's secretary also sees this email and shows it to the entire office, making fun of him. Mark feels humiliated and heartbroken. To make matters worse, one of his handsome colleagues also mocks him. After this, Mark goes to visit his mother, who lives in an old-age home. He shares his troubles with her, and she gently tells him not to worry, assuring him that everything will be fine. Still burdened, Mark returns home. Soon, his landlord arrives to collect the rent. Mark admits that he has only $300 left in his bank account and cannot pay the full rent of $800. The landlord insists that if he cannot pay, he must leave the apartment. With no other choice, Mark heads to the bank to withdraw his money. At the counter, the cashier explains that the system is down, so she cannot check his account balance. In that moment, something stirs in Mark's mind. For the first time in his life, and in this entire world, he tells a lie. He claims that his account holds $800. Just before the cashier hands him the money, the system comes back online. She sees that his account really has only $300, but because lying does not exist in this world, she assumes the system has made an error. Believing Mark's words to be true, she gives him $800. Mark feels both thrilled and shocked. Without realizing it, he has just discovered lying, the one thing this world has never known. Though lying is a terrible concept, in this moment it benefits him. He returns home and pays his landlord the full rent. Afterward, Mark meets the same friend who had set him up on the date with Anna. At the bar, he tells his friend and the bartender that he can say things that never actually happened. Since no one in this world even knows what lying is, they cannot understand him. To test them, Mark says he is a black man and asks if they believe him. They immediately agree, unable to grasp what is happening. Then Mark asks his friend what he would want most if he could do anything right now. His friend replies that he would like to be close with someone. Mark decides to demonstrate. He steps outside, where a very beautiful woman is walking by. He tells her that if she does not spend time with him, the world will come to an end. Hearing this, the woman becomes frightened and agrees to go with him. Mark takes her to a nearby motel. Inside the room, she nervously urges him to hurry. But Mark suddenly stops and says there is no need to do anything. The danger is already past. To make it convincing, he pretends to call NASA and declares that the world is safe again. Relieved, the woman calms down, feels reassured, and happily leaves. Once again, Mark meets his friend at the bar. He asks him what he truly wants in life. His friend replies that he wants to be rich, to earn a lot of money. Hearing this, Mark suggests they go to a casino together. His friend, who is drunk, drives the car. Soon, the police begin to follow them. An officer approaches and says that drinking and driving is not allowed, and there will be a fine. But Mark quickly says that his friend has not been drinking. Since lying does not exist in this world, the officer believes him without question and lets them go. They finally arrive at the casino, where they take chips and sit down to play roulette. Mark places all his money on number 28. The wheel spins, and the winning number turns out to be 35. Mark loses, but then, to distract everyone, he points in another direction and tells them to look. While their attention is away, he secretly moves all his chips on a number 35. When the dealer looks back, he is shocked to see the chips there, because just moments ago, that spot was empty. Mark insists that he had placed his bet on 35 from the beginning. Since no one in this world can imagine lying, everyone believes him. Mark wins a huge amount of money. Encouraged, he and his friend move on to another game. There, Mark tells the manager that they have just hit the jackpot, but the machine failed to release the winnings. The manager apologizes and immediately pays them the full jackpot amount. On this night, Mark's lies bring them an incredible fortune. After this, Mark returns to his building, where he meets a young man named Frank. Frank is always troubled and tells Mark that nothing exciting ever happens in his life. He feels tired of living and even says he wants to end it all. Mark immediately stops him and says he must never think that way. He tells Frank that he cares about him and promises to be a good friend. Hearing this, Frank feels comforted and happy. He asks Mark to go out with him that night, and Mark agrees. Frank's face lights up with joy. At this moment, Mark realizes that his new ability, the power to lie, can also be used to help people. From then on, he begins using it not only for himself but also to make others feel better. Now that Mark has plenty of money, one night he calls Anna. He tells her that he has changed and wants to go on another date with her. Anna agrees, saying they will go out the next day. Later, while watching television, Mark sees his handsome colleague being praised. This is the same colleague who once mocked him at work. Hearing all the admiration for him, Mark gets an idea. He begins writing on some papers and deliberately spills coffee on them to make them look old. The next day, Mark goes to his office and meets his boss. He tells him that after leaving the job, he traveled into the desert, where he discovered some ancient papers from the 14th century. According to those documents, an alien ship had arrived on Earth during that time. Using those papers as inspiration, he has written a complete story. Intrigued, his boss gathers the entire staff to listen. Mark then narrates his tale. In the 14th century, a spaceship from Mars came to Earth. The aliens destroyed the dinosaurs, and after that, the human population began to grow. Everyone listens in shock and amazement. Until now, every film in this world has always been based on truth and real events. Fiction does not exist here, because fiction itself is considered a form of lying. Someone asks Mark why no one remembers such an event if it really happened. Mark explains that the aliens erased everyone's memory. He adds that the papers also say a great writer named Mark will appear after 700 years, find these documents, and reveal the truth to the world. The staff is stunned. They applaud him with excitement, because for the first time, they have heard something beyond their imagination. Mark's boss proudly declares that their next film will be based on this very story. In the evening, Mark takes Anna out on a date. He tells her that he has regained his job and now has plenty of money. With hope in his voice, he asks if she will marry him. Anna refuses. She explains that if she marries him, their children might grow up overweight, and she does not want that. Before Mark can respond, he receives a phone call. The news is heartbreaking. His mother's health has worsened. Mark and Anna rush to the hospital, where his mother is taking her final breaths. She is terrified of death. Seeing the fear in her eyes, Mark's own eyes fill with tears. In that painful moment, he decides to comfort her. He tells her a story, one that is not true, but one that eases her fear. He says that after death, everyone goes to their favorite place, where they become young again and live in peace. Hearing this, his mother's face softens. The fear disappears from her eyes, replaced by calm and happiness. With that comfort, she passes away peacefully. The doctors and nurses standing nearby are stunned by what they hear. One of them asks Mark if such a thing is really true, but Mark remains silent, giving no answer. A few days later, when Mark returns home from his office, he sees a huge crowd gathered outside his house. Reporters surround him, asking what life after death is really like. They want to know if people truly become young again and get everything they desire. Mark gives no reply and quietly walks inside. On television, the news channels are filled with stories about him. Seeing this, Anna also comes to his house. She tells him that he must tell everyone the truth about what happens after death. That night, Mark stays awake, writing a script. The next morning, he steps outside and addresses the crowd. He says that above the sky lives a man who controls all of our lives. This man decides where we go after death. He sends us to our favorite place, where we can live happily. But if someone commits more than 3 wrong deeds in life, then this man sends them to a terrible world, a place of punishment. Immediately, people begin asking questions. One person asks if his grandfather's heart attack was caused by this man in the sky. Mark has no answer. Still, the news spreads everywhere. There's a man above who controls the entire world. Meanwhile, Mark's film about aliens is released. The audience loves it, and the movie becomes a huge success. Mark becomes very rich and buys a grand mansion to live in. His friendship with Anna grows deeper than ever. One day, Anna tells him that she loves him too. But she also says that even though he is now wealthy, it does not change the fact that their children might not be beautiful. Mark admits that he cannot change his genes. Hearing this, Anna feels heartbroken. She decides to end the relationship, though they remain close friends. One day, Anna tells Mark that she is going on a date with the same writer who once insulted him at work. She even says that she might marry him. Hearing this, Mark feels deeply hurt. Anna goes out with a colleague, but during the date, her mother calls. The man rudely snatches her phone and speaks harshly to her mother, annoyed that she would call during their time together. He also refuses to let Anna order the food she likes, saying he does not want her to gain weight, because he wants their future children to be attractive. Anna does not like his behavior, but she remains silent. Soon, the two of them get engaged, though Anna is not happy. In this world, people often choose partners based only on looks, hoping their children will also be good-looking. One day, Anna is at home watching Mark's interview on television. His words and humor make her laugh, and she enjoys it a lot. Just then, her mother enters, switches off the TV, and tells her to stay away from Mark, insisting that he is not right for her. Days pass, and the world begins to change. People stop working, because they now believe that after death they will be sent to their favorite place, where they will have everything they desire. They see this life as false, and the real life as something that begins after death. Mark also meets his old neighbor Frank, the same man who once wanted to end his life because no woman liked him. Now Frank says he does not even want to meet anyone, because he believes that in the next world, after death, he will find many women of his choice. He refuses to date anyone in this life. Mark's lies have transformed the entire world. A world where once people worked hard and lived happily is now broken. No one wants to work. No one wants to build real relationships. Everyone is simply waiting for death, believing that the next world will give them endless joy. One day, Anna comes to Mark's house with her wedding invitation. Mark tells her that she should not marry that man, but Anna does not understand. With tears in her eyes, she leaves because deep inside, she loves Mark. Later, she sits alone in a park. There, she sees a group of children bullying another boy. She chases the bullies away and asks the boy his name. He says his name is Short Pat Bryan. The children have given him this name to mock his looks, and it hurts him deeply. In that moment, Anna realizes something important. She understands that for months, she has been doing the same thing to Mark, judging him and hurting him for his weight. The day of Anna's wedding finally arrives. Mark's friend comes to him and says this is his last chance to bring Anna into his life. He tells Mark to shave and prepare himself. After shaving, Mark and his friend rush to the church, where Anna's wedding is taking place. The priest asks if there is anyone present with better genes than the groom. Mark stands up. He admits that his genes may not be perfect, but he knows one thing for certain. He and Anna will be truly happy together. With sadness, he turns and begins to leave. Anna runs after him. She asks him to consult the man in the sky and tell her who she will be happiest with. Mark could lie here, but he chooses not to. He tells her the truth, that the story of the man in the sky was only something he made up to comfort his mother. Anna is shocked because no one in this world has ever spoken words that were not believed as truth. But she realizes that Mark has always been honest with her. If he wanted, he could have lied to marry her, but he never did. Touched by this, Anna decides to marry him. And finally, their wedding takes place. Years later, we see them with a son who looks just like Mark. Their family is happy, and another child is on the way. Yet, from the little boy's gestures, it becomes clear he too has inherited Mark's unusual gift, the ability to lie. So, what lesson did this story leave with you? Share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear your perspective. If this journey moved you, don't forget to support our channel by liking the video, subscribing, and turning on the notification bell. Your support helps us bring more powerful stories to life. We hope this tale touched your heart and gave you something meaningful to reflect on.